I'd like to call to the order the Westerly Town Council meeting for Monday, March 16th, 2026. All members of the council are here with the exception of Vice President Shalaba, who's away with helping her family out of town in South Carolina. Town manager's here, town solicitor, town sergeant, and assistant town clerk. Welcome, Terry. First is our invocation with Councilor Niemeyer.
Dear Lord, give this council the strength to be fair, the wisdom to be collegiate, and the character to be judicious in our decisions today. Please watch over this town and this country. Watch over those living in fear around the world, and for our troops in harm's way as overseas. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next, we have recognitions, awards, and memorials. First, we have a condolence to Joseph A. Misto Sr., Councilor Healy.
Thank you. A respected citizen of the community in recognition of many years of dedication and dedicated service to the town of Westerly as a member of the Westerly Fire Department. Mr. Misto began as a volunteer firefighter with the Ladder Company, rising through the officer ranks and ultimately elected fire chief, a role he deeply loved and held with great pride and responsibility, led with commitment, compassion, and thoughtful innovation. As a member of both the Rhode Island and New England Fire Chief Associations, his leadership will be remembered by all. the Westerly Town Council extends to his family and friends who will share many fond memories of a loving husband, father, and grandfather, its sincerest sympathy with the hope that it offers some comfort in this time of sorrow. In witness whereof we have set our hands and caused the seal of the town of Westerly to be hereunto affixed on the 16th day of March 2026, signed all councilors.
Is the family here? God bless Chief Misto. Next is condolences for Dr. Walter Pawlikowicz, who I served with on the planning board. Councilor Niemeyer.
The Westerly Town Council expresses condolences on the death of Dr. Walter Pawlikowicz in recognition of his many years of dedicated service to the town of Westerly as a member of the zoning board from 2015 to 2024. Having served as both vice chairman and chairman, he also served on the board of directors of the Westerly Lions Club, volunteered for the supper table, and was an active member of the Misquamicut Business Association Board of Directors. The Westerly Town Council extends to his family and friends who will share many fond memories of a loving husband, father, and grandfather, its sincerest sympathy with the hope that it offers some comfort in their time of sorrow. In witness whereof, we have hereby set our hands and caused the seal of the town of Westerly to be hereunto affixed this 16th day of March 2026, signed by all councilors.
Of the family come forward. Next, sadly, offering condolences to Joseph M. Vodka Jr., who was just recently before us, receiving an accommodation. Councilor Petra.
Westerly Town Council expresses condolences on the death of Joseph Vodka Jr., a lifelong and respected citizen of the community, in recognition of his 60 years of dedicated service to the town of Westerly as president and coach of the Westerly Pee Wee Football Organization, dedicating his time, love, and passion for the game of football to mentor 3 generations of young players, teaching them discipline, teamwork, and sportsmanship. His legacy includes a Rhode Island Youth Coach of Distinction Award in 2020, the field house at the Pee Wee football field being named the Joe Vodka Field House, and his induction into the Westerly High School Sports Hall of Fame in May of 2026. The Westerly Town Council extends to his family and friends who will share many fond memories of a loving husband, father, and grandfather, its sincerest sympathy with the hope that it offers some comfort in their time of sorrow. Signed by all councilors.
Next is appreciation for National Vietnam War Veterans Day, March 29th, 2026, read by Councilor Aiello.
The Westerly Town Council extends appreciation to all veterans of the Vietnam War era on National Vietnam War Veterans Day, observed annually on March 29th, in recognition of their brave service and sacrifice to our country. The town council is honored to pay special tribute and to say welcome home to the millions of Vietnam War era veterans, to give thanks for their courage and dedication, to recognize the sacrifices of their families, and to always remember their devotion to duty and sacrifices made in protecting the ideals we hold dear as Americans on this anniversary of the Vietnam War commemoration. Signed by all counselors today. Please come.
Very good. That concludes recognitions, awards, and memorials. Next presentations, there are none. Next is citizens' comments. In this portion of citizens' comments, citizens can speak to any agenda item that's on the agenda for 5 minutes. We ask that you we have a sign-up sheet that for people that will go first. We ask that you come forward and state your name and address. First on the agenda list is Ben Weber.
Hello, Ben Weber, 3 Blossom Court. Thank you for allowing us to speak tonight. Item 5B. Nice and loud. Okay. Can you hear me now? Are you listening? Touched upon this briefly last time I was up here. Resolution authorizing payment to WSP USA Geomatics Navigation Point title search. $28,750. Yikes. Then I believe it was another 10 grand to another title search company, if I'm not mistaken. And then we can add the survey. And then we can add Solicitor Conley's fees. And then we can add the staff fees. I'm no accountant, but we got one up there. I think that's quite a bit of money. All to find out where Fort Road is. Right? That's funny because Fort Road is irrelevant. I've been up here numerous times. We already know where Fort Road is. You could have asked us. We did it for free. But you guys are the client. You guys are the overseers. That's a lot of money. 2008, Mary Jane DeMeo wanted to know where that road was too. And they determined there wasn't going to be a road. There was only going to be a right of way. So that's all we should be concerned about. 2008, both parties came to that agreement. Don't look for the public road. We don't want a road. We just want a right of way. That's where the 2008 resolution came from. An agreement between both parties. How many times have I been up here and said that? Have you guys heard anything regarding the minutes in 2008? Have you seen any of the paperwork and anything that was done in 2008 regarding that resolution? I bet not. Because you guys are all excited to hear that there's a road out there. No, there isn't. The road went first location right in the middle of where the Musqueamacet Club is. Second location in the middle of their parking lot. When they wanted the parking lot, they put it to the third location. That's why they didn't pursue getting a road out there in 2008. That's why it's only a right-of-way laid out, mapped out, according to the plat map, 20-foot wide right-of-way in perpetuity. And when you guys were compelled by a judge to survey the original location of the road, that would have been the opportunity to say, Your Honor, this has already been agreed upon. There's a resolution right here. They're already compelled by this. It was verbal and memorialized in writing in minutes. So why are we sitting here spending all this obscene amount of money trying to find a road that's irrelevant? And you're up here talking about raising taxes to do a sewer system for elderly people that can't afford, that may be on a fixed income, that can't afford a raise in taxes, when we're up here frivolously spending money on nonsense. Again, you guys are the overseers. You guys are the client. Remember that. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, boy, what's next? John Gagne.
John Gagne, 6 Narragansett Avenue. Good evening. So I'm here to talk about, you've got affordable housing, one affordable housing resolution on your agenda. I hope that you soon put on the Portsmouth and sign on with that. Both Portsmouth, Hopkinton, Tiverton, Bristol, Burrville, and tonight Coventry is going to vote on it. So all those others that I just mentioned, the 5 others mentioned, have already agreed to work together to push back on the General Assembly. Here's the situation. For over 20 years now, almost 30 years now, the General Assembly had its goal of 10%. They felt that we could do that through building new units. Well, realistically, no community has really crossed the threshold, save New Shoreham on this issue. And New Shoreham, if you look at the numbers, unique there. So it consists of one building. That's all it took on New Shoreham, okay? So, but 30 years, here's the thing. Rhode Islanders need affordable housing. The idea that you're gonna build new housing, and the manager was talking with me the other day, I think that one of the proposals for Wells Street is so $28 million means it's $319,000 per rental unit. Here's the thing. I wrote an email to all you guys on affordable housing, along with our representatives. I've had conversations with some of you, hope to have conversations with all of you before this is done. But the reality is Rhode Island is the second most densely populated state in the Union. In the town of Westerly, to get to 10%, with a 75-25 mix. So that means 75% of the new units are going to be affordable under compromise and 25 would be affordable. You'd have to build 924 units in this town. Does anyone think we can build the new construction 924? So the reality is the thought 30 years ago on the part of the General Assembly was wrong. Now, instead of looking at the data and saying, hey, we're not getting any closer, what they've done is gotten increasingly authoritarian and anti-democratic. And why I say anti-democratic is because democracy works at the local level. They should be working with cities and towns and trying to understand what their limitations are. They haven't been. They've just been dictating. So what's happened is, if that got us to the goal, if dictatorship got us to the goal, hey, maybe we could take it. But the reality is it hasn't. So we really, what Portsmouth is saying and what other municipalities are saying is they need to push back against the General Assembly to get the General Assembly to pay attention and work with local municipalities. You spent tens of thousands of dollars in this town for reports on affordable housing. What does it all say? Hey, we have a problem. Guess what? You can do it again in 3 years. Hey, we have a problem. Hey, we have a problem. The existing housing stock within this town is where a partial solution is. If you look at the farm fields and open space work that's done under conservation, that's a different model. The biggest problem that you have for getting affordable housing is deed restrictions. If you deed restrict your house, the value of that house drops automatically. It goes against the laws of economics. So under the new construction, I can understand that, but we've got to come up with a new model. And that means the legislature working with us. So I really strongly advise that this council take serious and join with those other communities. Also, the stuff you have before you tonight is good. You also have to think in terms of that. When you look at the Aquifer Overlay District in this town, these are large areas of our town. You have to protect the groundwater. We drink from the ground. Situate Reservoir, we don't drink out of the Situate Reservoir. So there's a real challenge here. So if it were easy, it would have been solved a long time ago. But the idea of stripping cities and towns of their home rule and their ability to have zoning laws, which is based on local conditions, it's not the way to go. So anyway, thanks. Have a good night.
Thank you. Next on the sign up is Maurice Devine. The reason given is under communication and reports, which isn't open to the first section. If you have something else, you're more than likely to speak now, but. They have not been.
May I offer a suggestion? If it ties in at all to 8A, even though 8A is not what we intended tonight, Maurice, is Rick, does it tie into housing, your discussion at all?
8A is a liquor license.
Oh, I'm sorry, 8B, I'm sorry. Does it tie into 8B? There you go.
8B counts. You can. You can start now though on 8B.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Morris Devine. I was born, raised, and have lived here in Westerly for nearly 6 decades. President Duhamel, respective councilors, Town Manager Lacy, Solicitor Conley, Town Clerk LeBlanc, Town Sergeant Falcone, fellow members of the community, citizens, and their guests. I was going to speak very briefly on 9A, but I will proceed forward to what I was going to tie in regarding 8B, which is salutations for all your good work regarding crafting a resolution to support S-2274 and H-7447 as it relates to housing and also at that point, comprehensive permits. Well done. Your efforts are kind of running in parallel with several other communities with all the housing regulations that are being proposed. Probably more work to be done. I'm looking forward to seeing more resolutions supporting some of them, and then possibly more resolutions, kind of questioning, how much involvement they've actually solicited from the subordinate towns before they actually craft these kinds of things. So thank you very much. I do appreciate that, and I will see you in the second half of the comments.
Thank you. That concludes people that have signed up. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak at this time on the agenda? I'm seeing none. Moving on to council's response.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I
sir.
apologize for interrupting council's response, but because item 5B3 was addressed in citizens' comments, I would just like to clarify something for council's response. That's a typo on the agenda where it says title search. That should be survey.
Yes, that's what I thought too.
Thank you, Mr. President.
These are surveyors, they're not lawyers. Thank you. And any comment, any response to the comments? Councilor Aiello.
Just real quick, and Mrs. Gagne, I thought it was a very interesting email you sent us. And I think you have some really good ideas in there. And I just want to mention something that came out from the Rhode Island League of Cities and Towns. And there's a joint resolution 7678 that would create a special joint legislative commission on city and town affairs. The proposed 9-member commission would review opportunities to strengthen coordination between state and local government and provide recommendations to the General Assembly. So it looks like things are coming, but we'll see how those commissions go. But it's a step in the right direction, and it goes to something that you were saying. Thanks again.
Any other response? Yes, Councilor Van Dover.
Good evening. Thank you all for coming. Ben, I hear you loud and clear. I would like to have the solicitor, if he can, address some of these with you. I'm not at liberty to be able to speak too much about what's going on with that, as you well know. I'm aware of the 2008 resolution, as you well know, and I don't disagree with you. John, thank you for all your letter and all the information. You're always a wealth of knowledge, and I for one totally appreciate that. In this resolution, as you know, they're looking at what's happening is that they've given us a 10% number for housing. And what ends up happening is, just to try to clarify it for some people, is that when they give out the permits for this, they're not counting those units. So they're giving out permits, they're not counting them, and then other people are coming along and applying for the same permits for housing. And what ends up happening is, at some point, we're either going to have an overabundance of housing, and we're going to go well over the 10%. However, I don't believe that necessarily is going to happen, because when you do LMI, you have to have X amount of low to moderate income with your affordable housing. And what ends up happening is that continuously ups the ante. So we're continuously getting more housing that is market rate, and then the 3 or 4, say it's 10, the 3 or 4 that they apply to LMI, it doesn't, we are adding more than we're getting in LMI. So what ends up happening is the numbers just keep going up. We're never going to get to 10%. It's just never going to happen because of the way that the state set it up. And that is what we want to stop. That is part of what's in this resolution, and that's what we want to stop. We want to put the brakes on the state, because the state is in the process of trying to take over our zoning regulations. They don't want us to have a planning board or a zoning board. They want to be able to do this all on their own and just forget about the small guy, forget about our little town. They want to make all the rules, and they just want to just totally bystep us. They currently have a comprehensive permit that can override whatever we say. If we say, no, we don't want this, they can override that. Now, what do we need a planning board or a zoning board? It's the same thing is going to happen with the schools. They want to eliminate, they want state-run schools, right down to state-run charter schools. It's got to stop. Every single town in this state is different, and they're not looking at that. They're just taking us as one lump sum and trying to take over everything, and it's got to stop. But anyway, so thank you for bringing all of that up, and we'll discuss that more. And I'm all for home rentals. I mean, I'm all for home ownership. I don't want rentals. I want ownership. That's the goal here, is to get people to have homes of their own. So thank you.
Anybody else? Council Healy?
Thank you all for coming. Mr. Gagne, I didn't get your email and I just pulled it up. The last thing I have between us is the 250th calendar. Could you forward that to me so I can also read that? Thank you.
Anyone else? Council LaPetra?
I'll address Ben Weber first. No one, obviously, we don't want to be spending this kind of money in this lawsuit. It's why I've publicly pushed to settle, but let me, if we're talking about the math of it, if we're spending 30 grand on a piece of property that's, I don't know, I couldn't even begin to give you a value of 100 million, what, 500 million. I mean, it's a drop in the bucket. So, that's what we're talking about here. So I'm not worried about, allocating some money to it to get, this is hundreds of millions of dollar property we're talking about, and we want to have it. We want to win, and we're trying to win. The other thing that you did mention, and I was going to wait for budget season, but you said something and it triggered what I was thinking in my mind was you talked about the sewer bond and how it's going to, the advanced cost to people on fixed income. And you're right about that. And I thought about something, and Sean, I don't know what the admin cost would be for this, but by the time we get to 2029, what do you think about if instead of sending out the sewer bills twice a year, if we started doing that quarterly? I think we're almost to the point where these sewer bills are going to be large enough where they should be a quarterly billing. And it's something I was going to save for budget season, but Ben kind of triggered that when he talked about the people on the fixed income. And we know we're getting another raise in 2 more years. Is that a huge cost for the town to do it 4 bills a year instead of 2?
Yeah, let's go.
All right,
but
all right,
let's put that
I'm
on
sorry.
the to-do list.
All right, so let me jump to John Gagne then. I'm gonna apologize to the town. I didn't go and follow through and look at which resolution we put on for AB. We got the wrong resolution. I would like to put the and we're gonna, hopefully we just nix that tonight because it's the one resolution. We've been sending a lot of housing resolutions to this town council, and that's the one that really didn't apply too much to us. The one we want is a resolution in support of municipalities collaborating in reviewing, analyzing, and responding to the 2025 affordable housing laws. And I'll get that remedied for the next meeting. And what it does is everything John was talking about was 100% right. He did great work in identifying the issue being the deed restricted houses. It doesn't work. It's a bad law. I've been saying it for 3 years, 4 years. It's a bad law. And the people we need to listen to us, and there's only 4 people that I hope really listen to us after we have our discussion in 2 weeks, and that's Victoria Gu, Sam Mazanao, Brian Patrick Kennedy, and Tina Spears. And I want them to think about representing not the Democrats in the General Assembly, but the people who live in this town and these communities, because we need help. And, and I'm just hoping that they hear us. And the one last thing I will say is, even though it seems impossible to build 950 houses, I mean, obviously it's a bad law. We're not going to get there. Well, I think a short-term rental ordinance could be the win to help us address some of the housing needs in Westerly, and maybe this council can get there, and we can help the housing, and we could fix a bad law and join the other communities.
Very good. Anyone else like to speak? No?
I'll just say thank you to all 3 of you for coming. Ben, in particular, looking at the item you brought to our attention, 5B3, I feel like it's worth it to have been proven right. I know it cost a little bit of money, but at the end of the day, I feel like it was worth it for the town to be proven right in our assumptions. And as for the other 2 speakers, thank you all for coming. We'll assess this new version of the resolution at our next meeting. But altogether, I'm sympathetic to your attention to municipal particularism.
Thank you. I'll quickly add, in order of Mr. Weber in the comments about spending money on the survey. Without that survey, it was said that the Port Road was underwater. We didn't have any rights to anything. So I think that survey was very helpful for the town of Westerly. That's on tonight's agenda for payment. The affordable housing issue, yeah, the towns need rights to affect where affordable housing can be built and how it doesn't affect the water and the sewer plant and how it doesn't affect neighborhoods. So there's quite a bit of work that is needed in the town of Westerly. There's a great need for affordable housing or housing to begin with at many levels. Our kids are growing up and they want to stay in Westerly where they're going to live. So the town planning board really should look at our comprehensive plan and identify where housing can be built. And if it can be built at less land cost, then it would be less overall cost. So I'd be relying more on our town Westerly Planning Board that has demonstrated great success in creating housing over the last 2 years. That's all I have to add to tonight's comments, citizens' comments. Moving now to the consent calendar, item 5A, approval of minutes, regular minutes of 3/2/26. And rescheduled meeting minutes. There are two agendas that night on 3/2/26.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Motion approved, both agenda regular and rescheduled 3/2/26. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any against?
I'll abstain.
One abstention. Moving on, fiscal matters, resolution authorizing the addition to the prorated tax rolls, $709.44. Item B2, resolution authorizing the waiver of penalty for late payments, $971.42. Number 3, resolution authorizing payment to WSP USA Geometrics, Inc. for a Nevertree Point survey, $28,750.00. B4, resolution authorizing payment to the lower office of Rice, Dolan, and Kershaw litigation matter, $1,530.00. And B5, resolution authorizing payment to the lower offices of Cameron Middleman LLP litigation matters, $807.50.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion approved. All in favor? Any
Aye.
opposed? Items 5B1 through B5 are approved. Next, resignations and appointments. Councilor Healy as chair of the appointments committee.
The appointments subcommittee is waiting for a completed letter from the Democratic Town Committee that has all 5 names. So once that obligation is completed, then we can return this to the next agenda.
That's 5A and B.
Yes.
Moving on.
And then for the Veterans Rolls of Honor Memorial Committee, the appointment subcommittee nominates Mr. Jack Michael Shippey.
Nomination of Jack Shippey. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Shippey.
And for the Wood Pawcatuck Wild and Scenic Rivers Stewardship Council, the appointment subcommittee nominates Mr. Blake Bush.
Nomination of Blake Bush. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Bush.
Was that, Leanne, was that a reappointment or new? New?
Yeah, he had wonderful qualifications.
Was that the alternate that was being appointed or the full? Yeah. Okay, so you're replacing, so the professor, his appointment ended last year.
Nope.
then.
Alternate. Yeah, that's the
That's the
alternate
alternate?
spot.
Alternate position.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, thank you.
Alternate.
May I ask a quick question too?
Sure.
So the reason we didn't want to vote on the board of canvassers is because we were waiting for a full list of 5 names from the Democrat Party?
That's what the charter says
Oh,
that we
it's-
have to follow.
It's state
No, I just,
state law was
Go.
missed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes resignations and appointments. Moving now to public hearings advertised on 3/7/26 for this time. Item 6A, proposed ordinance and ordinance and amendment of Article 2 exemption for elderly and totally disabled persons of Chapter 229 of the Westerly Code of Ordinances entitled Taxation, Discussion and Possible Action. Mr. Manager, could you just explain that this is done every year?
Yeah, this is done every year, so if you look at the memo for this year, because of the 2.5% social security increase, basically, we're bumping it up to 2.5%. So, you know, there's a sheet attached that shows below 35,150, it's a 60% tax reduction to an abatement of 60% of it. Then it goes up from there, 35 to 37, 37 to 40, all the way down to 47 to 51.5 is 10% of the bill. And you can see in 25, the 250 seniors saved, 52,785,000 worth of assessment, which represented $375,295. So it's done every year. It comes before the council every single year to be adjusted based on the inflation rates.
Thank you.
Motion to open the public hearing?
I'll second that.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor of opening the public hearing?
Aye.
We are
Aye.
now in a public hearing. Thank you, Mr. Manager, for that explanation. Do we have anybody in the public that would like to speak on this proposed ordinance to raise the exemption? Seeing none.
Motion to close the public hearing and adopt the ordinance?
Discussion, I'd like to discuss a little bit.
Second for discussion. Is there a second? Council Healy seconded. Discussion, Council.
I want to say, just like we have the COLA increase every year to adjust the charts a little bit. And I don't have a problem with it, doing it every year because it doesn't need to be done every year, but the earned income limitation we put in there, maybe every 3 or 4 years you can look at. Right now it's 11 grand. I mean, that's fine. It's fine with me, but every once in a while, maybe every 3, 4 years, I won't be around, but maybe up that $500. So be cognizant of that, and whoever's still here.
Council Healy.
I called around to a couple of other municipalities and talked to their tax assessors just to see how they did it. Most of them go by the HHS poverty guidelines. Is there a reason why we don't go by those? Or is it just, I did speak to some communities that don't do it. I'm just wondering, it seems to be a little bit of a easier to point at kind of procedure.
There's no such, there's an ordinance outlining it. I mean, I guess if we were to do it differently, we'd read, we can update the ordinance and if we wanted to go by some sort of different guidelines.
I just didn't know if it was something that you knew that had happened in the past, or if you, it's fine. I didn't reach out to.
It just, it says the cost of living adjustment is set by the town council. This is the source we use.
Okay.
It can be changed. It certainly can. If it's something we should be looking at by all means, if we're gonna do something different.
Governed by state law too, so that's.
Something, but I think there is some leeway with it. You can always give more, I think, as a council.
Exactly, yeah. I wouldn't, excuse me, I wouldn't be giving them less. I think everybody here knows that. That was my only question.
If I may just respond, I'm not gonna respond directly to that, but we take $375,000 off the tax rolls. I think that's, I don't know how much more you want to take off. I think we're in a good spot, and I really liked the change made a few years ago where you can't own multiple houses and still apply for this. So I think that was key. I think this ordinance is really good as is. I wouldn't tweak it too much.
Very good. Any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ordinance is passed. Next is unfinished business. Proposed ordinance and ordinance establishing, item 7A, an ordinance establishing policy for the display of flags and symbols by the town of Westerly. This was continued from 3/2/26. This is to be order advertised for public hearing on 4/6/26. Council Niemeyer.
Yes, so one of the original authors of this contacted me by email this morning and indicated he may want to work with us to iron out some of the wrinkles created by the latest set of edits. I'd like an opportunity for us to do that with him. Because of that, I'll make a motion to continue this item, 7A to April 6th, to be ordered for a public hearing on April 20th.
Second that.
Motion made and seconded.
Discussion.
Councilor LaPetra?
I want to say greatly appreciate the work you put into this, Mike, and love to see you continue working on it. And maybe it evolves into a second one, into where we start talking about these other things. But I'm ready to go in this. I don't want to keep pushing off a flag ordinance. I kind of know what flags I want in there. And, you know, if we could always put a placeholder if we want to do something with the town flag to make it work. And if you do end up going above and beyond like you already have, and you want to make a second ordinance for all the other stuff, I would support it in a heartbeat. But I'd like to try to get the flag ordinance, at least, let's take a shot at doing it tonight. We pushed it off long enough, and, you know, I kind of know what I want in it. I don't know about everybody else, but I'd like to take a shot. And if you don't like where it goes, then we'll continue it. How's that?
Good comment. I had a question. Go ahead, Councilor Vandover.
Yeah, I was a little surprised to see the added verbiage here. I'm not sure how it all got on there, but this was supposed to be a flag ordinance. And I do appreciate all the work you put in, but I think that this should possibly go on another ordinance. This is a flag ordinance. I'd like to keep it simple and get it done because I think it's important. Our veterans worked really hard on this to try to get it down to again, keep it kind of simple and just deal with the flags at hand. I don't have a problem with going over any of this other stuff, but I would like to see it on a different ordinance. And I'm ready to go with this as well. I think that we just had wanted removed Chapter 1, Title 36 off of the ordinance, and I thought the rest of it was just perfectly fine. So thank you.
Thank you. My question was, you're working with the veterans, is that correct?
Yeah, that's the notion. I want to go back to them a little bit. They're the ones who are the original authors. And I think to your point, kind of scale back the scope a good bit. That's why I think it'd be great to give them and myself and all of us a little more time to let it brew and kind of go back to the way it was a little bit.
Can we remove all this section 1 and then order advertise? Is that in play or? Well, that'd be really complicated if we start wordsmithing at the public hearing.
Procedures.
I was just asking Mike if that,
Well, you can't, it was never approved to put in the first place. What was continued last meeting didn't include the flag or the other stuff.
yeah, so this is a new ordinance.
The ordinance was continued from the last meeting, and if you're going to continue it, it needs to be the same document. If you're going to add something, it should be in a separate document, or you can go draft A, B, C, D. We've done that several times, and historically, that's what we've done. So we don't have to vote to remove it because it was never voted to be put in the first place. I'm not opposed to discussing any of, and Councilor Nebai and I have discussed it.
Yeah, that's not my understanding how this works, but I can see what you're saying, but the reason we put it continued and put it on again, old business, is because Mike and Dylan were gonna work on different changes.
But it doesn't mean.
Doesn't mean you have to start all over again. They put in, I don't know.
He's just saying that he would like to see that, if Mike and I worked on changes, it should have been an option A and an option B on the agenda. He doesn't like the way it was posted to the agenda, is what he's saying, Chris. Which,
it's red line. You can go back and
Yeah.
look at the blacks, the original ordinance,
No.
right? I know.
Yeah. This is my experience how this is done, but Councilor Aiello has better experience. So if we continue this, we can't change any of this. We have to come out, discuss it and open this forum again.
Can I?
That makes no sense.
All right. Let me continue, if I may. All right. Go back to what the committee had wanted. If whatever Councilor LaPetra and Councilor Niemeyer come up with, that would be on another document. It can be another version of this, redlined. It can be by a letter or something, but putting this out, I've been fielding calls since 10:30 Thursday night on this because of the way it was presented. And
I
it just,
can't hear clearly.
I said, I've been fielding calls on this since Thursday night when the agenda was posted.
Okay,
All right. And I, just before the meeting tonight, I had a conversation with somebody who brought this flag stuff up. So, as Council Niemeyer and I have spoken before, is I think a good way to go about it is to, if you want to put a placeholder in for a flag and a town coat of arms, fine, just put a placeholder, period. No descriptions, no pictures, anything, if that's what you want to
That's
do.
in policy.
But-
How do you change this?
But if, all right, I would say, let's address the committee's ordinance that they presented. There were two comments that were really addressed last meeting. One dealt with the flag in connection with the President's Proclamation and a flag associated with a celebration recognized under Chapter 1 of Title 36 of the United States Code. I'm not aware of any flags for any of those things listed on that. A couple of things could easily be taken out. And then, you know, and there's a couple of other places where the presidential proclamation and stuff are in there. We can tweak that, I think. I would suggest, if you want, we can either address it tonight, but if people aren't comfortable with that, bring back the original. And then whatever Mike is working on, but I wouldn't incorporate it all into this. It's only one ordinance. It's just different articles. There's different articles within that ordinance that covers the seals and these different designations and such. The flag portion that the committee worked on would be a separate article within that chapter 53. And changing without council approval, changing a document that the council has continued to another meeting, that original document that was continued should be continued. And if there's anything new, that should be an additional item. Within the same agenda item, of course, but like, for instance, draft A, B, C, D, or possible changes, can identify the paragraph or what have you. Because it was seeing all this red, it shocked people. And a flag that nobody has seen in the public or talked about. I've heard some grumblings even after you and I spoke from different people. So I think it's worthwhile, and I thought we're in sync with it about maybe having a workshop session, or it could be within a regular meeting or a separate workshop on some of these things, so you get the public engagement on the flag, not the stuff that the committee did. I think that's, other than a couple of tweaks, I think that's pretty much good. But I think anything, because when you start talking about a flag, especially if you're going to change what's historically been used is the town seal, that's all going to come into play and come into a discussion. The town seal, do you want to change it? Do you keep it? Do you want to have a different flag, a different coat of arms? So we go back and you include all these documents that the council has from 1937 and 1991 and whatever else is out there. And you put that forward, you put it on the agenda so everybody in the world can see it. And we have just a workshop on it. So nobody's pressured to vote on something in one night. It's information gathering and discussion. You get cross-feed like we've done on other topics. So I think that's the best way to handle the flag and the coat of arms, because it's all tied between the coat of arms, the flag, and the town seal. It's all kind of tied in the same discussion. I would
Okay.
suggest taking that out and handle that separately.
Councilor Healy, you want to go forward?
Yes, I just kind of wanted to make a few points of clarification real quick. When this was brought up at the last meeting, it was very clearly stated that large changes were going to be made to what we were presented with, which is why it was asked to get pushed off. It was very clear, large amounts, and I'm pretty sure that, like, big filler. So that shouldn't be of a shock to anybody that was here or watching. And then the way that we're talking about this flag, it sounds like we've just come up out of the air with some random thing. It's our seal without the ugly text. We don't have a town flag, we have a seal. And we've had all of these committees that have been in charge of our flags, and nobody has realized that we don't have a town flag. And all of a sudden it gets realized, and a beautiful bright blue for the ocean with the salmons are on there with the same exact checkered background, everything. You're making it sound like I'm over here throwing rainbow flags over everything. It's Westerly. It's not anything that is out of the ordinary at all. And to sit up here and act like 2 weeks ago never happened. It's just, it feels really disrespectful to your own counselor that's here and put their time towards something with the input of other counselors, with the knowledge from other residents, with working off of exactly what our volunteers gave us. I guess I'm just coming to their side to say, like, it's being framed in a way that some sort of nefarious thing was going on and some random flag just dropped out of the air and we're just gonna run with it. That is bizarre and wrong, and I wanted to be the one to say that.
Thank you. Councilor LaPetra?
Well, Mike, do you want to go, you want to say something?
Well, you were next, that's
All
why
right.
I asked.
I just want to bring it back to this. I think we're all, I mean, there's some semantics of what should have been on the agenda, this, that, but I think we're, at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. That's why I kind of would like to go for it. I think everybody's on the same page. I think we kind of want to go with, the placeholder for the official flag and maybe let Mike continue working on that or whatnot. Cut out the presidential proclamation, cut out Title 36. Take the rest of the changes that we'll put on here tonight and move them to a separate ordinance down the road. I think that we could get this done tonight, guys. I mean, it might even go 6-0. We're all on the same page, so I don't want to, it's something we could finish today. I'd hate to push off work to tomorrow, work that we can do today. And I just want to say that.
It sound, we would, we were held up
It's a-
doing that the last meeting because of this outside
Might I,
interaction, but
might I make a suggestion?
yeah, sure.
So what I think we should do is, since technically when we ordered the last one continued, some element of that original should have gone with it. So if we are continuing this agenda item again, what will appear as attachments are the original ordinance, and then any changes we want to make. However, if we want to do this tonight, let me read through this and just make sure we're all on the same page. So essentially what we would be doing is we would be putting the title back to the way it was. We'd be deleting everything in section 1. Yeah, everything in section 1.
Is the first paragraph going to stay intact?
Which one do you
The
mean?
flags and symbols of the town of Westerly, is that?
No, we'll just get rid of the whole thing. I think it'll be cleaner. We'll just get rid of all of section 1.
Okay, but above that is another change.
Anything in red in section 1 is what he's saying, Chris.
I understand this section,
You,
but up here, is this title applicable?
That's-
Are you
that's what I was
doing any
referring to.
symbols?
that's what I was referring to in the title. We change it back to the original title.
Okay,
And then also we can get rid of establish and. So all the red above section 1 as well, other than the date, which is the correct change.
got it.
Okay. Section 2
Section 1's coming out in total.
in total. So section 2 is becoming section 1.
Okay.
Article 4, flag of the town, we would put something to the effect of the town council may establish an official flag of the town and leave it at that for now.
Sure.
Okay. That still makes what it was originally Article 4, Article 5, so that stays the same. Under item B, definitions of flags, item B1, official flags that may be displayed. We'd be still be getting rid of flags in connection with a presidential proclamation. We'd still be getting rid of flags associated with Chapter 1 of Title 36 of the United States Code, and we'd still be adding in official flag of the town of Westerly, should one ever be created.
Perfect. Love it.
And then I think that's it.
That's worth a 2-week delay, right? Councilor LaPetra?
I say we don't have to have a 2-week delay. I think, Council Nehemiah just laid it out perfectly. I mean, I'm ready to vote on that right now.
So there's a motion to
This
continue.
note, the last page, you gotta change those sections, right?
Yeah, the section numbers will have to go back. And the other thing, Mr. King had noted that there were other sections, I think under item D, that need to be changed if we're going to be getting rid of the presidential proclamation.
Actually, at the.
You have it written down?
Here. You wanna talk about it?
Okay, so that is item C2 pennant. Yeah, we would just get rid of everything in item C2. Let's see if there's anything else.
The,
We can clean that up. Okay.
yeah, it's in D5.
D5, yep,
D5.
5.
The solicitor said he can clean it up.
Okay, so yeah, the solicitor says we can clean it up. I think so long as we get it out in those original areas I just talked about, we can clean up those areas.
So we just went through the ordinance that are changing, and we took out some of the red, just so that everybody's clear. Would you remove your motion to continue?
Yes, I'll remove that motion to continue and make a motion to approve in accordance with the amendments that I just mentioned.
And I'll second that.
Point of,
Would you withdraw your motion to continue?
All right.
I will withdraw, but also we're not voting on this ordinance tonight
We're voting to go
We're-
to
to public.
Yeah.
public hearing on,
Okay,
Yeah, I meant to say
April
order
6th.
advertised for public hearing on April 6th.
And I'll second that. I'm
With the
sorry.
amendment.
and the public has 3 weeks to review these changes. This isn't happening in one meeting.
Bill, are you okay with it?
Yeah, bring it back
Motion
down.
motion made by
We're gonna
Councilor
have-
Niemeyer, second by Councilor LaPetra. Discussion. Bill, are you okay with this?
Was it, going to public hearing or
Councilor Ayala?
Going to public hearing, yeah.
for that, right, with all those changes? Okay. Yeah, it's something that we can tweak it then. But I think, I would. Right, you took that out. Yeah, the solicitor's gonna tweak the other stuff, so I'm good.
Any other comments? Councilor Van Dover?
Michael, I just wanted to let you know, what you had put in, water is not a mineral.
Okay, I didn't write that. That's already in our code.
Okay, I just,
Want to make that, because people have commented to me about that. I know it's not a mineral. That's already in our code.
It's chapter 53, if anybody wants to look at it. It's online. He was adding one thing.
I only added item J. Everything else is someone else's fault.
And I'd like to say, Council Nehemiah, I do appreciate all of the work you put into this flag ordinance, so I want to say thank you.
yes, ditto.
It's a thankless job that you have. Okay, any other discussion? All in favor of voting the amended ordinance to be advertised?
Aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Thank you. Thanks for moving it forward, Councilor Petra. Okay, item 8, new business. First, we are required to suspend town council rules of procedure. Rule 9D, council operations to discuss and consider the following items. Items 8A, 8B, and 8C. Do I have a motion to suspend our town rules of procedure?
No. We go for 8C. Yes, 8C only.
I'm asking for a motion.
motion made to suspend the town council rules of procedures, Rule 9D, council operations to discuss, consider the following items, 8A, 8B, 8C.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made second, discussion.
I'll make the same point I made the last meeting. This has become too easy for us to just waive our rules on every single agenda, so I would go one by one. So I'm not saying I wouldn't end up voting on all 3 of them. I just don't like the way that we do this anymore, so I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Yeah, just, I mean, I'm probably gonna lose it, but I mean, rules they do say that we can vote individually on them. It wouldn't need to be separated when they're grouped together, if anybody requests it.
But then I'll request that we vote individually. That's a good idea.
Motion is to suspend the rules for 8A, 8B, and 8C. All in favor?
No.
No,
No,
Chair votes aye. So it's 3-3. It does not pass.
make a motion to suspend the rules for 8C.
Second?
Motion made, seconded, discussion. I want clarification from our solicitor. Does this rule out 8A and 8B from being discussed? You can't even discuss it?
You may discuss it, you may not vote on them. I'll check through, but what it should require us to do, because this is only on for the suspension of the rules, is put them on for the next agenda in accordance with the rules.
To be fair, though,
I'll-
we weren't going to do the affordable housing one because the resolution wasn't proper. And in our email, Counselor Aiello said that we shouldn't be doing A either. So if we're not going to do those anyways, then just skip them.
If you want, Mr. President, I can change the motion.
Motion's on the table. We're in discussion, further discussion.
The intent was not to not discuss it. I mean, I just don't want to arbitrarily suspend our town rules to vote on something we saw for the first time.
All right, here, all right, who seconded my motion to?
I'll withdraw my second amendment.
I'll withdraw that, make a new motion to suspend the town council rules of procedure to discuss only 8A, to discuss only 8B, and to discuss and consider 8C.
Okay, we're gonna need a second, but this is to discuss only 8A, discuss only 8B, and suspend the rules for discussion and possible action for 8C. Is that your motion? Is there a second?
Well, I'll second for discussion. We're gonna nix 8B anyway. That was the wrong agenda item. So basically, we're making a decision on whether or not we want to vote on 8A tonight. I mean, we could leave it open so that we could vote on it. I mean, you don't even want to do that? Or-
No, we discuss it. That was the motion. Discuss only for that tonight. And I'll explain it.
I'll back you. I mean, I do like what you're saying because I don't like the way we do it anyway. But 8B, it doesn't matter because we're not going to do anything with 8B anyway.
Discussion on my part, I'd rather be consistent. If we're going to discuss and act on one, why not look at all? So any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion?
aye.
Any opposed? Did you vote aye or? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna vote no. It passes 5-1. With that said, item 8A, resolution in support of exemption to the Rhode Island General Laws 3719 with regards to proximity of a liquor license to a regular place of worship. 102 Granite Street, AP 67, lot 275, discussion only. Is there any discussion? Councilor, Town Manager Lacy.
Yeah, just to explain, this is a resolution in support of a proposed restaurant. And again, I refer to things as the old Hoxie Buick property, which is 102 Granite Street. Proposed restaurant on that rear building of the property, which abuts the Granite Street Shopping Center, which there is a religious Mormon church in that, one of the storefronts in that shopping center. Similar resolution came before the council for another business in that shopping center, which the resolution did pass. So I just passed out before you, as was mentioned by Councilor Aiello, that there was no associated mapping with it, which I did not provide, which I can provide. But what I did provide, I just didn't have the time to do it by the time I got your email. But what I did provide was the general law that requires you to do a resolution to place this within the general statute, although there is a proposed repeal on this entire statute, but it has not passed yet. And so I printed out the three provisions for the town of Westerly in the statute on the other pages. You have 44, I believe, 47 and 50. So those are the three locations in town that a resolution has been adopted that allows liquor establishments within the 200-foot radius of the church. And one of them is 114 Granite Street, which is the shopping center, because there was another storefront that required the same resolution passed. So, but I will provide mapping, and I can give you the map of where it is. But the church is within that shopping center, and there is another resolution for that same shopping center for the same cause. You hear me, Rose, or no? Yeah.
Council Vandover?
So this property that we're talking about here, this is the new development they put on the corner of Granite Street and Tower, correct? So this backs up to a residential neighborhood, correct?
No,
It's
that's
mixed
not.
use.
No, this
Well,
is a church, a religious organization is in the shopping center. It is within 200 feet of the proposed restaurant.
Okay, so it's basically all about the church, it being too close to the church.
There's a state statute that requires with anything within 200 feet of a church has to have special resolution that enacts the legislation, if I'm saying it correctly, Bill. It's listed on the legislation at the state level, allowing it to be within 200 feet of the church.
Okay,
Westerly currently has 3 locations. One is that shopping center. So,
okay. So it basically just boils down to that. There's no other like stipulations like noise and nothing like that. So it just is, this is just something that has to be dealt with or not. It's a yes or a no.
has to come at a council level for a resolution to the state to enact it into the legislation.
Okay, all right, I just wanted to make sure I understood that correctly. Thank you.
Council Healy?
There is already liquor licenses in that plaza currently, correct?
Yes, so just to explain across
The
this,
plaza with the religious,
that's correct, yes.
right?
And so across the street from the Mormon church
Mm-hmm,
is Cleats.
right.
I believe it's 208 feet away, so it's not within that. The 114 Granite Street is one of the storefronts. It's a sushi place.
Yeah.
That came back before the previous council, right? Just a year or two ago, right? 2 years ago, to get special, because it was within the 200 feet radius.
Mhm.
This proposed, well, the building is already there on that corner of Granite and
Mhm.
Tower. It's within 200 feet of this Mormon church, which is why they need the resolution.
And I'm sorry to make you repeat yourself, but they did or did not pass that for the sushi?
It did pass. It's on record. You have it. That's what I
Okay.
passed out to you. It did
Perfect.
pass.
I just want to make sure I was reading it properly. Thank you.
And also, I believe Attorney Nadone is here. If there's anything I'm missing, you need to address?
My only comment was going to be going back to the previous council where when we were going through all of the rules and ordinances that had to do with marijuana, everything wanted it to be the same as alcohol. And so if we're looking at an alcohol or liquor resolution, ordinance, anything, I firmly believe that it should be, we're in 2026, it should be the same.
I tend to agree, but I don't know, and maybe you would know, if the marijuana statute, I think it would mirror the same within so many feet of school
Mhm.
and liquor establishments, which that would be separate. That someone else would have to apply for that
Okay.
separately if it was within.
Okay.
This strictly state statute pertains to alcohol.
Yes. Okay, perfect.
Council, Attorney Nardone wanted to ask. While he's getting ready, Councilor Petrie, you want to?
I just had a quick question. How far away is this building from the place of worship? How many feet?
Of course, I'm guessing 75 feet.
Okay, well under 200.
No, if it's over 200, you
Oh,
don't have to apply.
Okay.
If it's over 200, it's within the 200-foot range.
It's within the 200-foot range. Okay, so I think this is an easy call that we should, you know, that this building should be allowed to do it, only because, well, mainly because all these other places have already been allowed to. My only small little gripe with this is it's almost like we're piecemealing business by business, business by business. We're going to the General Assembly and asking a change of law from one business. I would have liked to have seen it's something that's just said, hey, everything within 200 feet of this place of worship, you all in, you know, rather than going back one by one. And I might just have that wrong, and I think.
It's my understanding that Representative Azanaro is looking to change the law
Okay.
at the State House.
If
For
you
all
look at the
businesses.
statute, there was 50, I don't know, there was 58 or 59 different locations.
And they're all listed
throughout the state-
individually like
throughout the
that.
state, it shows exact locations that you had to get exceptions to the statute.
Then that's, I don't know, I'm wrong then, obviously, so that's good.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the Town Council and Town Manager. William Nardone, on behalf of an applicant, I think it's important to understand that you're not approving a liquor license. You're just approving the opportunity for someone to apply for one in that location. That's what the exemption is for. It still has to go to the licensing board and go through all of the other requirements to obtain a liquor license. If you approve this resolution, it goes to the General Assembly. The General Assembly approves it, which historically they have, because there are currently 68 exceptions to this statute, and the statute really should probably be repealed. And there are 3 in Westerly, as the manager said, 2 on Main Street and 1 the shopping center. So we're simply asking that you approve the resolution so it can then follow its course through the General Assembly and then back to Westerly for an application to the licensing board.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Councilor Aiello?
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, I just mentioned a few things that we've done in the past, and I think Mr. Nardone is aware of it, and things that I've seen when somebody requests something like this is we get a plat map, so we know exactly where the location is, and get a little radius that shows how close, the proximity between, for churches or schools. And if I'm not mistaken, it deals with some property lines and not necessarily building to building. I think the state law calls for property lines. Yeah. So I think and there's also the exceptions in the law too. I think if something was, if there was something like this already from before 78, 79 or something, I think they're exempt. Or, you know, if somebody, if a church moves into an area that's already has something established, I think that's another exemption. But this is, I'm curious, schools, 500 feet, places of public worship, 200 feet. So I'd like to see the map showing the proximity of those locations. I'm not necessarily opposed to doing this, but I mean, there was no cover letter or anything with it to explain what's going on or where specifically that is. So I'd like to see that. I'd like to see the map and the proximity to schools and worship place plus public worship. And then now we know that somebody actually requested this, so that helps. I had no idea where this was coming from before. So I think it's important for the council to know that, to know exactly where that lot is and how close to the school, both the high school campus and the public place of worship. I don't think that plaza area is going to be an issue because we established that and they didn't appear. I don't think they appeared before the licensing board on the last one that we approved an objection. So, so I think we're good with that. I think if we have the information next time, I think I'd probably be very supportive, but I want to see the proximity especially.
Thank you. I have a question for the solicitor. If this condition already exists within the existing plat, if it's based on property lines, it wouldn't be need for another. It's another parcel, but this, if the church, if it's to protect the church, the Mormon church, and it's already in, a business and alcohol that serves alcohol within that process? But it's within the property line.
Within the
Bill,
property.
Is it within the structure or within the property line?
It's specific as to that building. So you need another one for this building.
So the use of that building, the parking area, anything that extends beyond the walls, that doesn't apply?
No, you need another one. All right, it's for the specific premises that the license is on and
Okay.
specific premises that the church is. In this case, I guess it's the Mormon church. You draw the radius map. If it's within 200 feet of that, they touch. You know, then you need this exemption.
So if the two buildings are within 200 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Do we have a motion to continue? Oh, we don't have to. We just had our discussion. Any other discussion? Councilor Vandover?
I just want to say that, it would be hard to say no to this only because they've already allowed other people in the same, just right next door to do it. You can't, in my opinion, give it to one and not the other unless there's a really good reason. And seeing as how none of the other reasons necessarily matter in this issue, yeah, I would be a no. I would have been a no for the rest of them as well. However, because of the way other councils have voted, kind of ties our hands, but, all right, thank you.
I voted for one near my church, so it's an easy walk from the pew to the bar.
That's why they serve wine in church, though, Chris.
I would be a yes, and I'll be a yes in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever the meeting is, but once again, Councilor Aiello is very wise in saying we have procedures, let's follow them, let's attach the plat map to the agenda and then vote yes.
Any other comments? Thank you. Moving now to item 8B, resolution in support of Senate Bill S2275 and House Bill H7447 relating to the low and moderate income housing comprehensive permits discussion only.
Motion to table this and never take it off the table.
Motion to table, is there a second for that? All in favor?
Guys, I do want a new one. I mean, is this a time to just give it to
This-
Terry for the next or?
The one
General
that Councilor Vandover had asked to be placed.
Yeah.
And it turns out there's another one that they want.
Yeah, I have the right one right here. We've already given copies, everyone, and Terry, you have a copy, right? And then next agenda, we'll get it right. My fault. I should have followed up on this and checked to see if it was the right one, so I'll take the blame on that.
Yeah, we'll just do the next.
All in favor of the motion to table 8B?
Aye,
Aye.
Any opposed?
to continue, Chris.
Resolution is tabled.
Not table, she said to continue, Terry said.
No, it's gonna be a different resolution.
It's a different resolution, Terry.
We're gonna go to a whole new resolution.
Okay, to table, yes, I'm a yes.
6-0. Moving on, 8C, resolution authorizing the town manager to enter into a contract with Sky Elements LLC for the Renunciation Day Celebration Drone Show. Cost $36,750. Discussion and possible action.
Chris, may I just ask a quick point of clarification? If we did vote to suspend the rules on this one, right? Good, okay, thank you.
That's how I just presented it. Possible action. Mr. Manager, if you could set us up, we received the contract.
It went out to bid and we received a contract. The bid was awarded to the Sky Elements LLC for $36,750, which was a savings from what we anticipated. I know there was some questions regarding insurance, which was part of the bid for the proper insurances, which was all part of the bid they have met. They have provided a contract. It's been reviewed by purchasing side, and it's also been reviewed by Solicitor Conley, and which is before you tonight.
Thank you.
Motion to approve.
Counselor Healy. She had the floor, then you
Oh, all
can
right.
make your motion. I had a mind block, sorry.
There was an address listed on here on Ward Ave. Is that still the correct address?
That is a proposed location. They have not gotten that approval yet, but they have two alternative locations, which
Mhm.
doesn't change the conditions of the contract.
Do you know those other locations or not?
One of them, I believe, is Similarly Field, and I believe a second one is down the beach, one of our facilities down the beach.
Okay, thank you.
Counselor Yellow?
Yes, motion to approve.
I just have a question on the
Well, if we
contract.
second it, then we
Is there
can
a
discuss.
Second. Discussion, guys.
Okay, Chris, is that okay?
Counselor Vandover?
I just had a question. I just want to make sure that I have this clear that the company Sky Elements is in fact going to secure the federal aviation waiver or get the permission from them. That's what I'm reading. I just want to make sure that that's correct because they would have to be the ones to do that. I believe we could not do that. So I just want to
No,
make sure.
it's very clear in the contract that they get the FAA permit. That's their responsibility per the outline of the
Okay,
contract.
thank you very much.
And I did get some concerns. I got an email from Councilor Shalaba, who's not here. One of her concerns was the FAA to make sure it was a waiver. She also had a concern on the deposit and the balance, but there is a deposit required and the balance is due net 30 post-event. So it's after the event, so.
Anyone else have questions? If not, I'm gonna go.
Quick,
You had already had the floor, right?
I made the motion. I
Okay.
didn't discuss it. I just have a
2
question.
bites?
Oh, it's one bite.
2 bites.
Motion doesn't count as discussion.
You had
That's
the
what
floor
enables-
and you made your motion,
That is-
part of having the floor. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to confirm, I think I heard the manager say the solicitor looked at this and the town is covered. I'm good, thank you.
Thank you. I have some questions on the contract itself. I raised them to solicitor. You know, the customer is, as the town of Westerly. If it's just us, that would be correct, but it's really the school committee that's authorizing this because it's on their property. We don't have care and custody of their football field. And the, you know, potential use of that field with pyrotechnics, I think that has to be worked out. The school committee is meeting this Wednesday rather, I would say, you know, in spirit of what the council just voted of not suspending the rules, I would say we would be best to be served by letting the school committee vet this out, and if it is an appropriate location on the football field, then, you know, it comes back to us.
It's not the football field. It's off the quad.
It's where?
The quad, not off the football field. It's on the quad.
It can't hit anything on the football field?
They're
With
not
the
using that- no,
1.3 million AstroTurf?
No, none of the drones are going off the football field. It's all set up in the quad.
Okay.
That's the proposal. That's the proposal.
Yeah, if we saw that and we could rule that out, right now, I thought it was,
Oh,
No,
that's
it's
the
in there.
location. That is the location. The mapping that the drone company has, it's out coming off the quad. And Town of Wesley is the one under the contract because we're the one paying the bill. So we own the property. We certainly have a right to have a contract. The school has to give permission, as you're right, they do have care and custody of the fields, even though we do maintain them, but they're, you know, it's their right to say yes or no to it.
I would like to respond to this as well, Chris. This is 8 weeks away. And I'm going to disagree with you about whether or not there's a contract between the school committee and whatever this company is, Sky Elements. This is a town contract. I mean, we own it all. It's a town contract. We're the ones authorizing this. We're the ones paying the $36,000. We own all that land anyway. The school committee just maintains it, for lack of a better term. And I actually don't know if they maintain it. We send town staff, yeah, we maintain it. So it's not, I mean, we've given the school committee their due. They've been a bit ridiculous with this, if you want to be honest. It's time that we approve this. It's only 8 weeks away. Come on, this is
No, I'm-
for the whole town.
I'm
All
all
right.
for having another meeting, special meeting next week.
To approve this contract, you want to have a special meeting,
Well,
8 weeks
to
away.
prove the location as well. I'm not certain that all that's been vetted out. If we do have a location that
But we sign the contract, and if they want to deny the location,
we're
then it's
taking
up
the
to.
funds, but the insurance to the school property is what this involves. If it moves to another site, there's.
Well, who do you think is paying that?
I'm sorry to interrupt. It will not change any of the insurance implications if we change the location. It does not change any of the conditions in the contract.
So the liability to the school properties is not spelled out in this insurance?
Their insurance covers the liability regardless of where you have it.
We have a member of the 250th in the crowd tonight who I believe would like to weigh in, Chris, if you need to.
Come on in, Vice Chair.
Well, actually, I'm not. I'm the secretary though, of the commission. So, yes. So first of all, this is going to happen beginning of May. So time is of the essence. It can be at the school. It can be at Similary Field. It can be at the town beach. Again, there, all those locations. We thought of the school ideally because of the bleachers, but it may or may not occur there. At the last meeting of the commission, there's a motion made, which was approved by all the commissioners, which was because time is of the essence, we have to advertise it. We got to get the word out to the whole town. If the decision doesn't happen on Wednesday night, it will move to an alternate location. We've had discussions with the town manager and he offered alternate locations. So, yes, the care and control of those properties, if you will, are, while there's a school there, belongs to the school. They're not the owners of it. You own it because when they close the school, like Tower Street, you ended up with the land back. So you're the owner. At the end of the day, you know, it's about moving pieces around, but the insurance covers you anywhere. As far as the FAA goes, that's why we hired a vendor. So the vendor has an FAA license for operating drones. They have to file a flight plan. They know that there's a state airport here because that was part of the information. So that means that there's a certain ceiling they can't go above. And that will all be filed with the FAA in advance by the vendor who has the knowledge because we don't. So that was the purpose. So good news is the quote came in less than we thought it was gonna. Okay, then we budgeted that you were authorized. And but time is of the essence. This is gonna be in conjunction with the Rhode Island's Renunciation Act, which was when Rhode Island, before anyone else, declared its independence from Great Britain. So I would ask you to approve the contract or allow the manager to sign the contract. It's covered for wherever we do it. And there are alternatives. So thank you.
Thank you. Before you go, I should have mentioned up front, this is a reduction from what the town council, the chair's here too. This is
Yeah,
a
and the chair's
reduction
here.
from
You
60,000
want
to
him?
36,750.
23,000 under budget, and I'm gonna make a motion to have Mr. Cook speak as well on this
So
topic.
I got the floor. Let
Okay.
me finish. Thank you, Caswell, for coming. I was going to ask, where is Plan B or C in the event the school facilities aren't available for whatever reason?
Similary Field, somewhere down the beach.
So similar field, you have fireworks consistently every
Yeah.
I forget what religious holiday it is.
Yeah, I think the problem is it's kind of like a chicken and an egg thing. So like you guys are saying, go see the school committee, and the school committee is saying, we don't want to see it until you guys have a contract. So it's kind of like this sort of thing. And it's been going on for a few months now. And as John said, we're down to, weeks, not months. So what I was under the impression tomorrow, having spoken to Dr. Garceau, is that if they were to approve it being on their property, it would happen tomorrow night. But then what's going to happen if you don't vote tonight? They're going to say, well, we can't vote on this unless the council votes on it. So it's a catch-22. If nobody wants to do the drone show, just tell us. We're just a volunteer committee. We've been busting our hump on this thing. It's not my drone show. It's your drone show. You appointed this committee. You hand-selected the people on this committee. And I just feel like it's become weirdly political on both ends. Like, you know, there's certain people that
That may,
certain
that
people
may
don't
be,
like.
that may be, but we also hear, I misunderstood that it was going to be over the football field.
So that we want the people to, so there was a map that I assumed was presented to you.
I don't have the map.
All right. Well, can I just show it to you then real quick, Chris? I have it
Yeah,
right
you,
here.
you can describe it for the audience. It's,
Okay, so I have it right here. It's from Sky Elements. I know it's too small to see. But the bottom line is the zone that they propose using is right in the middle of the quad. And then 15 minutes before the display, they increase that zone and put a couple of sawhorses up on that lane that goes between Babcock and the high school. And then after that 15 minutes, they take them away. You cannot fly drones over people. So I think the misconception is people are sitting in those stands and the drones are on the field in front of them and they're going, that is not, they don't work that way. It's got to be off from where the people are sitting. So our proposal was to the school committee that we use the bleachers and then on the field, maybe have a band or something like that, a couple of food trucks, you know, on the side, and turn it into an evening. So it's not just a 10-minute drone show, but that there's an evening of, you know, fun and games, things like that. But that's the issue. So if I go to the school committee Wednesday and you guys haven't voted on it yet, they're just going to say, no, we're waiting for the town to make a decision.
I got one question, Mr. President.
I'm good with that. And you have a plan B that's, tried and true with Similori, so.
I think Similori is fine. I think the problem, the beach isn't going to work because on May 2nd, they won't be finished with construction at the state beach.
You're not gonna let them there being,
Well, they're redoing the entrance to the state beach, which we've asked for like 15 years, and they're putting like 4 additional lanes. They're barely going to be ready to let us have Springfest. So there would be like nowhere we could launch them at the beach, but then there'd be nowhere to park if that state beach lot is closed. So the only other alternative would probably be Similori. But we just think that more people can access this and see it better if it's at a location like the high school.
yeah, I agree. Thank you. Counselor Aiello?
Yeah, just a question. Anybody, Mr. Manager, Solicitor, Caswell, anybody. So the contract that is before us tonight is not linked concretely to one location. There's no penalty, there's nothing. It can be anywhere in town. We can sign this contract and have it anywhere in town.
They are aware that if the school were to say no, then it would pivot to another location.
Okay. Thank you.
Before your good point, is there, well, just Solicitor Conley can make certain that there's options to where this show is put on, if it doesn't work out. And as well as the town of Westerly, I know the town of Westerly is paying for this, but the town of Westerly can't tell the school committee how to use their property. So I don't know if you need to have the town solicitor needs to look at some recognition of that. Councilor Vandover?
You are far too kind, Mr. Cook. I'm sorry, this has become incredibly political and it's got to stop. If we don't make a decision tonight, this drone show is probably going to go in the toilet. Okay, we already have signs up all over town about this drone show. What is the holdup? I mean, we vote, the school votes, we're all on the same page. Done.
These are the questions that I brought tonight. I'm getting answers.
Hold on, I have the floor.
That's what it is.
I have the floor, please.
Go ahead.
I'm getting tired of this. I really am. This should not be this difficult. It is a show. We put together a committee to do this. What did you think you were going to get? I mean, come on. This is crazy. Let them do what they do. It has become political because if it wasn't political, there would be no problems. The school's got to say this, the town's got to do this. This one doesn't like that. Stop already. Really, I am so sick and tired of this. Can we just get one thing done the right way, once and for all, without having to go through all of this mess? We put them in place to do this. I don't understand what is the issue. It's got to stop.
Councilor Niemeyer, then I need to respond.
Sure. My main concern coming in here tonight was basically what Councilor Aiello just went over, which was if the school committee does pick a different location, will we be in the clear to just hold this somewhere differently, even if we sign the agreement as is? And it sounds like that is the case, so that's fine. Other than that, I feel like let's let them get to work. If there's things to, work out in the relationship with this company, perhaps we can do so, but I don't feel like there's anything so pressing that we should hold them up this close to the event. My main concern was just whether or not, because I know in the initial RFP, multiple locations were listed. I didn't see it here, but if it's the case that they're going to be fine with us moving it, yeah, I say let's do this tonight.
Yeah, Councilor Healy?
There's nothing political about there being an address and the address is wrong on a contract. It's a legal contract. What is political about that? If I had another piece of paper that said, hey, option B and option C, I'd be like, yep, let's go. But you're asking me to approve a contract with errors in it. And then the communication we've gotten from one of the other committee members had completely different information that isn't in here. So it's not cut and dry. It's not political. If I wanted to make it political, I could. This isn't political. This is a legal document that doesn't have correct information that a town council is being asked to sign. So if y'all are good with signing things that do not have what we're being told in writing, cool. I appreciate it. The fact that this came in almost half under budget, I was ecstatic. I was like, yes, let's go, let's do it. Let's just get it over with. I didn't want it at the school. I would love to have had it on the beach. I would love to have at the airport, tell them we're blocking you off for 2 hours. It's not going to take a long time. And I'm sure one jet can pause for a second. Do I see the benefit of it? Of course I do. I sat with both of you guys and I said, I want fireworks. It was the first thing out of my mouth. I want a celebration. And you're celebrating it for my birthday, May 4th. I'm ecstatic, but it would be very.
Change the day.
Ha ha ha, you're so funny. Remember when I didn't wish you a happy birthday? If we could just have seen an accurate address, it feels irresponsible for me, for a compliance issue here to be doing this. I hope you can understand. If not, that is okay. This is not a political thing. This is just not legally right. So appreciate you guys. Apologies.
Can I say something? First of all, I take a little look. The contract is not wrong by any means. The location is 23 Ward Avenue. That is the proposed location. If it is not approved at 23 Ward Avenue, the drone company has allowed us to move the location. Solicitor Conley is aware of that. He is very comfortable. The contract is not wrong. And I don't know what other information you're getting from other members of the committee that are different than this contract. This is the contract.
Sean, we sent you the email. You were on the email from Seth Logan that had complete inaccuracies. So that's what I'm talking about. And
In all respects,
an A or B or a C, then yeah, like I said, but some other person is going to tell us where we can have it. We don't know. And we're saying, okay, we've never worked with them before. Do I have the best intentions of people? Yes. But when if this turns around and bites us in the ass, our names are assigned.
Your name's not on it, my name's on it, but the contract is specific for 23 Ward Avenue. That is the plan for the drone show.
Okay.
If for some reason the school committee does not approve 23 Ward Avenue, then we are allowed to switch the location to another town location.
well, that's the point
Which
I'm
will
trying to
be
make.
noted in an amendment on the contract. if we
So
have to change the
another
location.
contract will come back.
Will not be another contract. There will be amendment to the location.
Well, Mr. Manager, that's the first question I had for Solicitor Conley walking in here. Can we move this to another location? And just because the town council has questions on this, doesn't mean it's political or it's.
It's way beyond,
I've worked with
Which is
Councilor Cook for many years and I have great faith in his coming through on big events.
On this contract, and I have an $18 million road bond contract.
Yeah, so there is some of these questions that might fall apart. So we get this at the last minute. We're asking questions. it's not political as Miss Van Dover has made it out to be. It's just when other people ask questions on other subjects that we all know the answers to, but you're enlightening one counselor,
Mr.
that's
President,
okay. But in this case, you guys all don't know the answers.
can we hear,
Hear
from the solicitor?
AL, I have the floor. I have the floor.
Yes, and you've spoken a half a dozen
Yeah,
times.
for the
No,
fifth time.
This is the first time I spoke.
No, no, it is not.
All right, this is your first time. So that's why these questions are coming out. I understand we're at the 11th hour, having the show, not even having a venue approved yet. So yeah, I'm all for helping them. I'm all for having the solicitor make some of these changes that 23 Ward Avenue, if not chosen, could be at Similarity Field or any other spot that the manager feels is going to work from a venue.
Are you done, Chris?
No, why
Good.
are you interrupting?
Because I'd like to make a motion to approve. I think you rambled long enough.
Table to approve, second it.
All right, continue with your dialogue then.
Yeah, I just feel that this is a great event. I apologize from the town council for not appointing your committee last year. It should have been done last year. You'd have more time. This is what the position that we're in.
First, the solicitor has a suggestion.
And I think I'm all set.
Making a motion to approve the contract as is. All right, then I call for the vote then. Let's vote.
Motion made and seconded by Councilor LaPetra to approve as is. I don't know that as is was in the motion.
Well, I'm adding it. Let's vote.
All right, amended motion to approve as is. Is that your motion?
Yeah.
Is there a second to as is?
You don't need it. You don't need it. It's redundant. It's redundant. Just, I'm calling for the vote of the original motion, please.
Hey, you call for the original motion, so you got to take a vote.
Council Solicitor Conley, you want to?
Well, I just called for a vote. Don't we vote when we call for a vote?
All right, poll vote.
I think,
Council Van Dover.
so the president, to answer Councilor Neely, the president denied the request to hear the solicitor.
There was a call for a vote. Doesn't that come?
No, before that, you refused. I said
that
the
cuts off
solicitor,
discussion.
I said the solicitor has a suggestion and you refused to hear it.
I
You want
wanted
to hear it?
But there was a call for a vote.
All right.
No, that was, no.
All right, I rescind my call for the vote. Mr. Conley, please, if you have a suggestion, everybody's attentive.
So I think as everybody has agreed, the school committee does have exclusive authority to determine whether or not the event should take place on its property, and it maybe has created what's been referred to as a catch-22 situation. And although as I talk with the manager, I am comfortable with the contract as is, I have an abundance of caution, if it would help, in paragraph 1, where it reads displays location 23 Ward Avenue, Western Rhode Island, 02891. We could add the words or such alternative location as may be agreed to by the parties, which is the understanding and agreement of the parties. It's just adding that phrase right there.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to add that language to the contract.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion on the alternate language. Hearing none. Approval of the amendment.
Aye.
Aye.
Any against? 6-0. Original motion. Approval. All poll vote to approve the amended
Aye.
contract.
Aye, yes.
Aye.
For everybody that yells at you, this is for you, Mr. Conley. Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Chair votes yes, 6-0. Thanks, Caswell. Moving now. And thank you, Mr. Conley. Moving to communications and reports. Liaison reports. Do we have any? Councilor Van Dover?
EDC meeting, still talking about the marketing plan, and I just wanted to publicly thank Mr. Brockaway for apologizing to me for his reaction to my trying to help him out. So I just wanted to say I appreciate the apology. And so that would be all on the EDC, the finance board. They voted in a chairman, Daryl Venezio, and Dan Vellucci as vice chair. And they are going over the town budget currently, and they have a meeting on the 18th and the 20th of March at 5:30 at Babcock Hall for the school end of it. So I just wanted to make people aware of that. And I didn't not go to the rec meeting because I was at the finance board, so I'm not sure if the other liaison went or not.
If I could correct, before we move to other liaisons, I believe the 18th meeting is in Town Hall, the Town Manager's office, and I believe it's at 7 o'clock, and it's open to the public.
Oh, yes, that changed. I'm sorry, I forgot about those. The school committee has a meeting that night, so we bumped it to 7. Sorry about that.
And all counselors are invited to go to this meeting. It's not, there's no liaison to the finance board. All counselors can go, and I'm not saying that we should all speak, but certainly to hear the deliberation. Thank you for those updates. Counselor Healy.
I just have a couple for the housing committee. Their next meeting will be April 9th at 5:30. They meet the first Thursday of every month at 5:30, typically in the canvasser's office or the back canvasser's office. They are really still focusing, or they are mainly focusing on the impact of the aging population on in housing for Westerly. They've kind of discussed ADUs and the barriers that still exist. And then for some public comment, they briefly touched base on what's called bunk houses or communal living as a possible way to address the need. And then I also have from the Chamber of Commerce, their Easter egg hunt is going to be this Saturday at 11 o'clock sharp at Wilcox Park. It is free, open to the public with children ages 1 to 8. Just bring your own basket. They are accepting applications for the Virtue Art Festival in Wilcox on Memorial Day weekend. You can get that at zapplication.com. And James Wolfe isn't officially on the 250 Westerly Commission, but he will be featured on the business over breakfast tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock on 321 Media. So it's not official, but it's unofficially official.
Anybody else? Counselor Niemeyer?
Yes, this Saturday is the 250th Commission's Independence Ball to be held at the Armory. It is Saturday evening, 6 p.m. Tickets are still available. Go ahead to the town website and get some. As far as I know, there's still some left. But yeah, it is this Saturday, and it's going to be a great time. They put a lot of work into it.
Just one question. Do you have to wear a powdered wig to that?
You don't have to wear a powdered wig, and if I had one, I'd be on
We
it.
do, Chris.
But
Okay.
you don't have to.
Thank goodness.
Bill, you're all set. Powdered wig. I'm just kidding. I forgot to mention one thing with the EDC. I just want you guys to know that we were written up in Coastal Magazine as far as Westerly having the best beaches in the state of Rhode Island. So I thought that was pretty cool, but don't tell anybody.
No.
So we don't want them here. Thank you.
Very good. Any other reports?
One quick-
Counselor Aiello?
Thank you. Yes, for anybody who's interested, councils are all invited, anybody. At the Veterans Hall, 113 Beach Street, the veterans are going to have a special flag raising ceremony on March 29th at 8 a.m. Commemorating the Vietnam War veterans. Thank you.
Okay, any others? Moving now to town council reports, 3/16/26. Is this where you want to copy one of the ordinance, one of the resolutions?
I could repeat it in agenda referrals and make it even more official if you like. I was gonna wait for then. It's
Okay.
up to you. All right.
We'll wait for that. Any other comments on the letters or any? Yes.
I just wanted to thank Mr. Fred Skulko and Mr. Richard Holliday for sending in their letters in support of what we're trying to do here with the low to moderate income housing. Thank you for sending in your letters. They are much appreciated. It gives us an opportunity to understand and what the town people are thinking and what are their wants. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, next, town manager.
Mine is just a declaration for the end of the state of emergency in the state was dated March 4th. And then the financial report, the 6-month financial report from the school side, from Cindy Kirchhoff, and then department head reports.
Could you point with what the plowing budget is? Everybody loves to talk about that.
The plot, you want to know, it's not in my monthly report, but
I thought there was an overage in a couple of spots.
no, I don't believe so.
DPW highway and grounds. But division of over by 128, is that the right line item?
Which one are you on? I can,
General fund expenses as of 3/2.
you're talking about the financial report?
Yeah. I don't know, like Xerox is the last page.
Division of snow and ice. You're looking at, yeah, it's not the last page. Well, it's the last page in the financial. So basically I can break it down. The last storm cost the town about $61,000 in overtime. We do not, that's, and $25,000 in salt, and roughly around $4,000 in fuel was the last storm. We did not pay any of the services from Connecticut coming in. We had, roughly about 130,000 in the budget of this year, which was chewed up. And I believe now we are
262.
yeah, but it's 252. So we're probably about 120,000, but we are filing a declaration with FEMA for about $500,000 in reimbursement from the last storm because we can only use a 48-hour window, so that might come down to 400 and something. But we can include our straight time, which is budgeted anyway, so we don't count that. And we can include equipment time for all the trucks and all that, which is not included when we figure into what snow removal is. We base snow removal on the cost of material, cost of fuel, and the cost of overtime. If it's in straight time, we don't actually factor it in, but all in all, just the last storm alone will be between 400,000 and 500,000. We'll be billing FEMA, or we'll be trying to a declaration through FEMA.
But did you go ahead, Councilor Healy?
Is FEMA, is it also REMA that's helping too?
Same thing. It's FEMA's will file the declaration on behalf of the state to
Okay.
FEMA. The FEMA is the federal side. So we met with FEMA last week to go over all our numbers. All look fine. If it ends up, it looks like the amounts are going to surpass the limits statewide
Mhm.
to allow us to get a declaration through FEMA. But keep in mind, it's years to get your money back.
And from what I understand, the submissions, the final submissions aren't going to be until like the end of the spring. So we won't get any update on this. I just kind of want to put it out there that we're not going to find out next week that we're getting all of it back.
Will
So I
not.
just
They
wanna-
know our preliminary numbers. They're well aware of the preliminary numbers. We went through them all. But we have to pick a 48-hour window, because that's all it'll cover, that we would have incurred the most expenses. So if we brought plow drivers in at 6 p.m. on Sunday night, which we did, but the snow really didn't kick in till like midnight, we can go 48 hours from midnight.
I think they
Yeah.
might be extending that.
Yeah. Beyond 48 hours? Yeah, they made it clear it was 48-hour window only. If we go beyond that, the costs will go up, so.
Thank you. Any other questions to the manager? Councilor Niemeyer?
Yeah, just looking really quick, it looks like our grants administration has taken over some, or has been conducting some meetings related to the Main Street Stormwater Project. Have we taken over the administration of that project, or are we just participants?
Participants. We have not taken, it's us. I mean, we're the ones applying, but we are participants in it, but we're working hand in hand with them on it.
Gotcha. Okay, thanks.
I just thought of a question, Sean. I've become aware that we're in discussions to take over the senior center. Is that something that we want to do? Is that something you want to do? You think that's the most prudent course of action?
I just met with them last week, keep them, and I'll go through all this during budget time. We don't have to
Sure.
deal with it now, but we fund them roughly, say, 275, 300,000 a year for a subsidy.
Yeah.
So there's been talks with them. They're always on kind of shoestring, trying to get things along. Keep in mind, we own the property, we maintain the property, everything, pay the utilities on the property, maintain the grounds. Is to the talks I've had with them, with us taking over the staffing that's there. So I'm going over budget numbers with them to see if potentially anything increases in our subsidy. Meaning it wouldn't be a subsidy, a budget. We actually, it's not even really a subsidy anymore. It's a budget.
Yeah, how much more it
It's
costs?
a budget line, yeah. And they would maintain their 501c3 status because we can't get involved in fundraising and bingo, and as it's just trying to mirror what all the other senior agencies are doing through the state. Ours is very unique. I don't know why it was ever set up this way, but it probably goes way back before Chris's time, I believe, even on the council. But you know, so we'll see. I'm going to crunch all the numbers together and I'll give it to you at budget time.
Thank you.
Very good. Any other town manager questions? Moving to the town solicitor.
Nothing this evening. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Town clerk. Thank you. Agenda referrals.
I'll just make it even more official. I'd like to refer the resolution in support of municipalities collaborating and reviewing, analyzing, and responding to the 2025 affordable housing laws. Second one.
Second that.
There you go.
Council Healy.
I would like to, and in whatever capacity we can do this, the appointment subcommittee would like to go through some of our stale dated boards. And we would like to bring that to the full council to discuss perhaps cleaning up what we don't currently use. We are aware of the charter and the ones that we're not able to do, but we might even have ideas on questions to bring in the voters in November. So however that can be worded, I would be thankful for that.
I'll second that.
Thanks, Dylan.
Anything else? Moving now to town requests of the town manager, council's request of the town manager.
Just to follow up on the maintenance of effort spreadsheet.
I forwarded you, you got all the council got the letter from Solicitor Conley last week, which was how the process works. I know it's new to some. And then as soon as I get it from the school side, I will forward it to the council. And it will be before your, obviously, deliberation, so.
Council Vandover?
I did send the town manager an email regarding all the boards and which ones are held in either the charter or can't be removed or can be removed. So I'm just waiting to hear back on that, but I'm on top of it and hopefully we can have that all brought forward next time. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Request of the town solicitor. Seeing none. Moving on now to citizens' comments. This is a section where citizens can speak to any issue, having up to 5 minutes. Please state your name and address. We have a sign-up sheet. First is Maurice Devine.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Morris Devine, and thank you very much for the privilege to be able to speak with all of you respective counselors, town staff, and fellow citizens. Just coming back, I guess, for that second bite of the apple, I did add on a few things. A lot of cool stuff going on, a lot of critical path things going on. With regard to the flag ordinance, I think it's very, very interesting. However, I think a lot of people would also like to be able to understand the impulse. What was the driver? If we remember back to, I think, a meeting in January or February, the comment had been, well, maybe we need to take a look at it because really it's not much more than something that reminded somebody of the town seal on a bed sheet. I think it's great that you're looking at kind of breaking it up into a couple of pieces and taking care of the flag display stuff. And then also all of the other cool things about the town of Westerly, like the town bird, the town wine, the town mineral, and whatever. So I think that's really, really great. Regards to the 8B resolution that you had tonight, can understand maybe why it was retracted, but on the other hand, I think it was crafted pretty well and I don't see any reason why you can't dust it off and pass it. Many other towns have also done something very, very similar, and my hat's off to everybody that's going to be involved in that. On 9A, regarding housing and municipal home rule authority, which is really kind of what this other resolution tends to be all about. And we've seen it from Hopkinton, from Tiverton, from other towns as far back in our attachments to our meetings as the 23rd of February before certain events moved it to happen later on in March. But in particular, Rhode Islanders fiercely, from the very, very beginning, even before we were a state, believed very, very much in self-governance and independence at the local level. And this is essentially what this joint municipal agreement does. I hope that everyone has had a chance to be able to read it. It's very short. It has actually just 5 main points and a little statement at the end that says, we're not trying to, agitate the state of Rhode Island into some sort of legal tiff, but all of these 5 points are asking the state to meet with the individual municipalities, especially those of us that are in the outlying communities far away from the societal hub of Providence and Cranston. The cookie cutter approach to how to develop our communities does not work throughout all of the 39 or so municipalities. They're all very, very different. And I think that it would behoove them to be able to sit down with us and all the other communities and say, look, this is all about good, progressive, safe development of our communities, but we also want to be able to do it in such a way that it preserves the character of our towns. And we have great housing and zoning champions right here in front of us. Who is more qualified to be able to determine what direction Westerly should take other than people such as yourselves and the people in the supporting committees? Do they always agree on every little point? No. But you all know your constituents. You know the various needs in the different parts of town. Who better to do this than someone locally, as opposed to someone that's got a full plate and has an office and a closet up at the State House and is looking to just get something done, move forward, approve, passed, whatever, and they tick the box and go to the next thing. It's not just about housing. This is about our community and about its people. And the best advocates for the people of the town of Westerly, I think, are probably led by all of the people here in this room. I do not have enough time to be able to read that joint municipal statement. However, the text is nice and big, and most of it is signature type stuff. But the 5 main points and the statement about, hey, we're trying to work with the state of Rhode Island, not get into litigation with them, I think is more than reasonable. And I think it would be beneficial in the long run. In closing, we have to be aware that for as much as we want to have all the committees and everybody take a look at it, the clock is ticking. This needs to be done and turned in before the 4th of May. That is a Monday. So we need to have this done by the end of the week, if you will, or at least the middle of the last week of April. Otherwise, we'll be out of time, and anything that would delay it could possibly jeopardize the town of Westerly and its people and possibly put them at risk. Thank you very much on behalf of all the people in town and also on the future for our citizens and our community.
Thank you. Next on the sign up is John Gagne.
So, first of all, thank you for moving the drone contract forward. Just a word of, you have excellent staff. And the manager and the solicitor and the assistant town manager are all great to work with. I mean, the assistant town manager helped us. We developed a voucher with a funding voucher. But last time you got together, I watched you guys talking about $125 invoices. And tonight I listened to The town owns all this property. It's clear. And I listened to you go on in great detail as if that gentleman over there can't handle it. I would ask for you to have more respect for the manager and the staff and do less micromanaging. With regards to the flag, I like our flag right now. I like the 1669 on it. We're the 5th oldest town in Rhode Island. Okay, if the official seal's on the bottom of it, okay. But it's a good looking seal, it's a good looking flag. And, the discussion earlier about someone mentioned something about how much money we're spending for, Ben was mentioning spending money. Well, we're gonna spend money if we're gonna do new flags. So why? Did the citizens ask us for it? I mean, it's something to think about. But thanks for moving forward the flag ordinance for order advertised. I think it's great. With regard to affordable housing, I think it's really important that the planning board, the affordable housing committee and the EDC in some cases, because it affects EDC too, and the town council all work together. And I just heard something about bunkhouse proposal or housing proposal or rooms or that. I think we need to look long and hard and look at a comp plan. Because we're supposed to follow the comp plan. You're supposed to follow the comp plan. It's there for multiple years. The other thing is we all need to work together and really understand the problem and try to work through it. So there are, believe it or not, there are people in town that rent their apartments, 2-bedroom apartment. I know someone who rents a 2-bedroom apartment for $900 a month. Anybody think that's affordable? No, I know someone who does it. He rents it in Westerly for $900 a month, a 2-bedroom apartment. Okay? There are people renting at affordable rates. We just don't count them. Now, meanwhile, on the other end of the spectrum, a house on Spruce Street just went for $800,000. It was $102,000 above asking price. Whether you like it or not, the place is in demand. Existing housing, look at the buildable lots. There are people in town that are offering $900 apartments. There are people in town that want to help out, but there's no mechanism. So that's what, getting back to the Portsmouth thing, that we need to work together and try to make sure that the folks who need it can get into those apartments. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. That concludes the sign-up sheet. If there's anybody in the audience that would like to speak to the council on any subject. Seeing none, any council response? Council LaPetra?
I'd really like to thank Mr. Devine and Mr. Gagne for talking about the most important issue that we have. And John, it wasn't that long ago before I started renovating one of my apartment houses. I was charging $850 for 3-bedroom apartments. You know how they counted me? Not at all, because I wasn't deed restricted. And there's a lot of people out there like me. There's a terrible law. I saw your email. You have some great ideas. Let's put it this way. In order to fix this, we're gonna need a bipartisan solution. We really are. It's gotta be both sides working together. I mean, we've gone through 100 years of whatever it is, maybe not 100 years, the Democrats giving us bad laws. Nothing's gotten fixed. Okay, we're worse off now than we were before. We have an impossible goal. This has to be a bipartisan solution, and the first step, they may very well be the short-term rental ordinance, and we can go from there and see how we can figure this out for everybody.
Anybody else? Cos?
I just wanted to thank Mr. Devine. Yes, it is important that we do send a resolution for AP independence at the local level is really what it's all about. You are correct in saying that and cookie cutters do not work for every town. Every place is different. And I totally agree with you. You were spot on with everything that you had to say. Slowly, our state is trying to chip away at our freedoms. They take one little bite at a time and hope that we don't recognize or that we don't see it. And it's great that you guys are paying attention. I do appreciate that. Let's see, as far as the affordable housing goes, I did sit in at that meeting and they did speak about tenement housing with shared kitchens and bathrooms, putting up some kind of tenement housing. I was an absolute no. Shared living space, having people come into your home and live in your home with you also was out there. And if that's what you want to do, by all means, go ahead. I really don't think the government should get involved in that. That's nobody's business. So it was quite interesting, the last meeting that we went to. And you're right, the town does own the school property, no matter which way you slice it. We are micromanaging your committee, and I have no idea why. Actually, I have my thoughts on that, but good job. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep pushing forward, and we'll have a great show. Thank you.
Council Healy?
Thank you guys both for coming up. I agree with the flag situation being on two different resolutions. I think that will give us all a chance to kind of, everyone gets their way a little bit. The thing that I keep hearing about the low to moderate income housing resolutions, it always comes back to, well, we have all of these units that aren't being counted. And I agree. I apologize for completely disagreeing with that $900 figure. Everybody knows I live on Bowling Lane. They're going for $2,500. Pierce Street, $2,000. So if we have homeowners out there that are they are renting their properties for what would be considered affordable housing, they should be on a list. And that is exactly why I want a rental registry list. I want people to be able to go on there and see, oh, okay, well, short-term housing is on that place. Maybe I don't want to buy there. Oh, okay, there's some affordable housing under this one. And this guy, because we're in Westerly, owns 7 different properties. Like, where can we afford to live? Can we afford to live in Westerly? Can we not? I absolutely think that we have gotten to a place where there has been no regulations where it comes to, like a rent cap or anything like that. And that's why we're here. As a state, as a country, not just Westerly, we're behind the 8 ball. We are being very reactive. We're not being proactive. So when that short-term rental comes back up, I've been saying I really want a rental registry to go along with it. And if we get these resolutions from other towns and that can fit in there where we can tweak it and say, okay, well, we disagree with what the state is saying. Here's what we can do to protect our residents here. Because you're right, what's working in Providence isn't going to work here, and it shouldn't be cookie cutter, but it should still have protections for everybody, no matter what their income level is. I think that's it. I appreciate you guys coming out. I know that we have a bunch of, I guess, political things in front of us. I didn't think it was like that. I really think that this can be done across the board in a progressive way while being fiscally Republican or whatever you want to call it. We're one council. So I know that it's said up here, oh, the Democrats this, Democrats that. We're one council. So we either vote or we don't vote. We either get along or we don't get along. And I think there's a hell of a lot of trying behind the scenes. I'll tell you that. And making good progress. I'll say that. So thank you guys. I look forward to reading that email, Mr. Gagne. I appreciate you sending it to me. That's it. Thanks.
Anybody else?
Real quick. Guys, thanks for coming and talking. Always love to hear you. And I see Dan King back there. I just wanted to thank the Roosevelt Veterans Committee for the months of effort they put into drafting that flag ordinance. And I think it's a great way to go. And the 250th, thank you for everything you guys are doing. Thank you.
You all set?
Yeah, I'll just quickly say thank you guys for coming. I'll talk to you individually about some of your questions. But altogether, thanks for coming out and advocating for the issues that you do.
I too want to thank you both, your former Councilor Gagne and Planning Board member Devine. They both serve currently on the planning board, so they have a unique position in town to help solve the housing problem that we have, that Rhode Island has, that the whole country sees. And it's not just low and moderate income, it's everybody that has a problem in housing. Westerly can only do so much, given the capacity of our water system, given the capacity of our sewer system, and mainly given the environmental constraints that cover half the town, anything from Route 1 south, pretty much, and certainly Shore Road, just north of Shore Road and south of Shore Road are restricted for good reason by the CRMC and the DEM. So there's limited areas in town that can be utilized for affordable housing, for any housing, any greater density in housing. So I think we have to rely on the planning board. You guys both come up here just about every meeting. If there was some kind of an update that you could bring, the council could have a directive to the planning board saying, you know, please help. We could do that, but your leaders on the planning board, you could come up with some ideas. If it's simply that we're counting the amount of housing incorrectly, let's put that out there. But I'm seeing a different thing from my perspective, that there's a shortage of housing, not necessarily affordable housing, but also any housing. And there's going to be a lot of growth in this area, growth from the Groton subbase, growth from our surrounding towns. So that's going to put even more pressure on Westerly in providing for housing. So I rely on the planning board going forward. I look forward to working with the planning board. I look forward to working and hearing from former Councilor Gagne and planning board member Devine. So with that said, I want to
Motion to adjourn.
thank you all. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We are closed.